Good morning and welcome back to Michigan Marksman. Today on the channel we're going to be continuing more ballistic panel testing for our typical rounds. Today we got Predator Armor level 3 steel 6x6 plate. It says it's base coated, but as you can see it is, I would barely call that base coat. It's more like a rubberized paint honestly. But we're going to see how well this holds up against our typical rounds, AR, 12 gauge, and pistols. So this is a continuation of our bulletproof testing series. So far I think the overall leader in actually holding together well and stopping stuff has been Spartan Armor Systems level 3 plus. So let's get to shooting and see how well this Predator Armor 3 plate holds up today. Up first is 22 long rifle out of our brand new Kel-Tec P17. Brand new to the channel, I just bought it a couple weeks ago. We'll be getting out a video of our test on this here shortly, so be looking for that one as well. Alright, let's see how well this plate stops 22 long rifle. Alright, let's go take a look. Okay, we hit it right above that Predator skull there. It looks like we did knock a little bit into that base coat, which is basically just rubberized paint. It's not like the other ones. As you can see there, yeah, that's not much of a base coat, honestly. But yeah, it stopped the bullet, so I guess that's a positive. Alright, 22 long rifle just rubbed up that base coat a little bit. Let's step it up to 9mm out of my Glock 43X. Alright, you can see we hit in almost the same exact spot as 22 long rifle. 9mm took about a little bit more, about double the amount of space, obviously, and about double the amount of base coat paint as well. No divots yet, which is kind of surprising because this feels like very low quality steel. It's about the same thickness as the other plates, but it's a lot lighter. So let's step it up to 45 ACP. So far the previous rounds have only roughed up the base coat. Let's step it up to God's caliber 45 ACP on my Glock 21. We're hitting in very consistent spots today. As you can see, we're holding a really good tight pattern today, apparently. Kind of funny. But yeah, there's 45 ACP. I'm feeling a little bit more of a dent this time compared to the other rounds. It's slowly, taking a toll on the plate. Obviously, with my assumption that it's not the best quality steel, I'm feeling maybe one of the rifle rounds can go through it. So let's step it up to 223 Remington. Alright, the pistol rounds are already doing mild damage. Let's step it up to AR round 223 Remington out of my AR pistol. Once again, I hit in about the same spot. It looks like almost right on top of that 9mm. A little bit of a divot there from that. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So far this is holding up pretty well. Let's step it up to green tip. So far that plate's holding up better than I expected. Let's step it up to steel cord 5.56 NATO green tip. Let's go take a look at that damage. It looked pretty bad. Alright, we finally hit a different spot other than right on top of it. But, yeah, not as much damage as I thought it was going to do. Sure, it ripped off a huge chunk of that, rubberized paint, but yeah, the spot protection on this plate is not great. Let's step it up to 12 gauge and see how much damage we can do. Boy, it sure is a hot one out here today. Let's test the plate on 12 gauge, number 8 shot out of my Kel-Tec KSG-12. Yeah, there's not much base cut on that at all. Obviously this stopped. Number 8 shot from the 12 gauge. Let's step it up to double aught buck to see how bad that damage is going to be. I bet it'll be pretty significant. Alright, let's see how much damage double aught buck does. Alright, we hit right here of double aught buck and we got a lot of divots. It's actually bent the plate a little bit, as you can see there. It was supposed to be a perfect curvature and not, you know, whatever we call that. I bet that Magnum slug is going to do a lot of damage. Let's check it out. Alright, so far that plate has stopped everything we've shot at it. Let's see how well it does against the 3-inch Magnum slug. So far that plate is barely holding on. It's kind of bent, but nothing's gone through it. Let's check out to see what this does. Besides knocking my target stand over, it looked like it may have done some bad damage to that plate. Let's go check it out. Alright, we hit in about the same spot as the double aught buck. That was a pretty big divot. The Spartan Armor System plate had one about that same size. Wow. That's pretty bad. I don't know how many of these it would take to, you know, blow through that, but just one did a lot of damage. Overall, this plate has held up better than I thought it would. Obviously, you've got no spall protection, so that kind of sucks. Let's break it down. Well, some feedback on this plate. You have no spall protection. This plate's base coat, if you even want to call it that, came off almost instantly. It was not stopping any of that lift from spalling. Overall, this plate, for spall protection wise, has been pretty sucky. One thing that is kind of shocking to me, like the quality of steel for being a 3 plate compared to the level 3 plus plates we've done before, it had about the same damage as the other ones steel wise. We got that big 12 gauge slug hole there, well, dent, not hole, but it did a lot of damage to that. So you can see it has a little bit lower quality steel on that, but overall, of all the plates we have shot so far on this bulletproof test, I believe the Spartan Armor System level 3 plus has done the best. We'll take a look in a short to see how well the damages line up between them. Obviously that soft panel, that was, I think, what was that? 3A, I believe. That didn't stop any of the rifle rounds, and it definitely was not going to stop shotgun rounds. But overall, plate test has been pretty informative. Definitely interesting to look at if you're planning on putting together a plate carrier and seeing what type of panels you want in it. I think the next goal on my list is to grab a 6x6 ceramic panel if they make one of those. I believe those are level 4. See how well that holds up. And then we're going to move on to some other testing, but with shotgun chokes, as well as some sparse rises here and there. Obviously got that new Kel-Tec P17 that I want to do a test video on, so be looking for some cool videos coming up. As always, just keep blasting.